So, yeah, as y'all can tell, like I'm ready to finish this story. So, however you get me, however you get me. So, and before I finish with the part where all the stuff starts to happen again, let me backtrack a little bit. When I started at the hospital doing dietary, I also was working the group home. But when that whole situation happened, like I think I already had gave them my 2-week notice. And but when I started at the hospital, and I think a lot of people in the beginning thought like I was a lot of people still think about me like that, like I'm some stuck up, bitch that, have it all or know it all and all that other stuff. But really, because of everything that I've been through with the group home, with, the stabbing of the back and people talking behind your back and doing all that unnecessary stuff, I promised myself, like, once I had got this job, I was not gonna be so naive and jump into making friends so easily, because I started to realize, even like really towards the end, how shady a lot of females were. And working around so many females, especially black females, like you always, and I learned that throughout. That's why I don't have friends now. I learned that, especially when I started my healing journey, like I started to see that up until, like last year, 2023. So I made it a promise to myself, like, because I got my foot in the door, and like it's very hard to get into the hospital unless you know somebody. I ain't know nobody. My personality is just like welcoming once you get to really know me. But when I first started, I didn't talk to nobody. I really stayed to myself. When I walked in, I greeted everybody, and I did my job, and then I left. And mind you, I was also like delivering trays, because I worked at the women's hospital. So I would have to drop off trays to like mothers that just gave birth or are there for other procedures. It was a women's hospital. So for the first 6 months, I was not talking to anybody. I was not trying to make friends. I'm there to do a job, and I'm going home. That was it. Like, because with the group home, it really like made me see, like, females are just really like vindictive and really like evil too. I'm going to keep saying this throughout a lot of the videos. You can't expect people to have the same heart as you, no matter what. And even with me getting the second person I had children with, I got his sister a job there too. And she was even saying some sideways stuff for me and acting funny and all this other stuff. And girl would jump from job to job, couldn't even hold a job for very long, but have the decency to talk about people. I'm telling you, people just, So I ain't talked to nobody, so everybody knew me like as the quiet one, or they because I got the resting bitch face, so I believe like everybody thought like I was a bitch or something like that, or my nose was stuck up in the sky. But it just, I went through so much in that 5 years working at the group home. Like, I was not trying to, I needed to see your characters first before I knew who to trust, who to talk to, you know what I'm saying? Like, because people always put on the front like they're the nice ones, and telling you everybody that's the bad ones the whole time. They're the instigator. They're the messy one. They're the one who's doing all the drama. So, mind you, I'm the one that's dropping off the trays to patients, and sometimes I would be making like the salads, like prepping like the stuff that would go into the cafeteria that, patients can buy, the guests can buy, staff can buy, and all that other stuff. So I would be in the back a lot of times, just making up trays. Sometimes I remember I was in the back for like a week Like, because I had culinary, you know, experience. Even at the group home, like when they would have overtime, like at the day center, he the chef of the kitchen always would call me to do overtime. One, he knew like I could cook, and then I needed the overtime. Like whenever he needed me to be in the damn kitchen, like I was there for it, because he knew I had 2 kids I was taking care of by myself, so I was always jumping on overtime because I needed it. So when I was working in the back, like I really didn't talk to nobody. The only people that I started to talk to was the dishwasher in the back. And then, yeah, everybody else I would like kind of say hi and then go back to my, excuse me, and go back and go make salads and treats and all that other stuff. So this is around the same time that my best friend and her husband, Lisa's, about to be up. And because there was so much turmoil within that apartment that they were in, his brother and the girlfriend at the time didn't want to renew because of how my best friend was. So they ended up looking for another apartment, and then his sister was the only had agreed that, because she still couldn't get a place on her own. She wasn't still working at the time, so she decided she was just going to move in with them. And then she was still helping me with watching my kids and helping other people watch their kids too. So when they ended up moving to this new it was like, because they went from, I think, like a three bedroom down to a 2 bedroom. And yeah, so around this time, everybody's moving. Everybody's like going through their own little ups and downs and stuff like that. So, mind you that when I, put in my 2 weeks notice at the group home, I ended up just solely working at the hospital before I started, before I actually move to the new place. So something ended up happening with my car, and mind you, like, this is why I'd rather go to a professional. This is why, I should have seen these signs like long time ago, but because I was always a person in my circle that either was going through stuff and then always distancing myself from everybody. So I was always the scapegoat for everybody. Let me just say that, because unknowingly, like, my best friend at the time was telling my business, and then Gillian was telling my business, and then some people would automatically see some things that were going on in my life, especially how I was struggling, and I couldn't really, like, because my best friend was still like solely taking care of my oldest daughter. Like, she would buy her clothes and get her hair done, and she would do the rest of the girls' hair too, but there would be times like I couldn't even get them outfits. My best friend was giving them, buying them outfits. Like, that was the whole point when I got my income tax. Like, every income tax, I would always make sure I got my bills paid, but I always made sure I got them shoes, I got them clothes, I got them everything that they needed, and plus on top of that, everything that they wanted. That's why they went through like so many tablets. I would never spend nothing on me, because at the end of the day, I always wanted to show them appreciation, because if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't get income tax. I'd probably get like $900, $500 income tax. So I always used to put in my head to like spoil them, and due to the fact of how I grew up, I didn't want them having to want or need anything.